Today, I want to talk about the truth about going independent and the things no one really tells hairstylists before they make that jump. And honestly, this is exactly why I'm currently working on a workshop for hairstylists who are either thinking about going independent or already are independent and feeling overwhelmed trying to figure it all out on their own. Inside the workshop, I'm going to walk you through the foundations and systems that truly help you build a successful business behind the chair without constantly feeling like you're guessing. So if you want to be the first to hear about it when it launches, head over to my website, onpointhairbySherry, SHERRI.com, and get on my email list. I'm Sherry Brody, and welcome back to another episode of Cutting Through It. Are you a hairstylist who feels overwhelmed, stuck, lacking confidence behind the chair, or simply wondering how you're actually going to build the career you've been dreaming of as a hairstylist? Then welcome to Cutting Through It. My name is Sherry Brody, and after having to rebuild my business numerous times and learning lessons the hard way, I created this podcast to help hairstylists just like you feel more confident behind the chair and build a career you truly enjoy. Each week, I'm going to share real stories, practical advice, and the business tips beauty school didn't teach you. From how to connect with clients and build that loyal clientele to handling the real life stuff hairstylists deal with every single day behind the chair. There's no fluff here, just honest conversations from someone who's been through it too. So if you're ready, let's start cutting through it together. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Cutting Through It. I'm Sherry Brody. Today, I want to talk about something that I feel has been really glamorized online for new hairstylists coming into the business or just hairstylists in general. And that is the talk about going independent and having your own salon suite or just renting a chair. I feel like it's been so glamorized on social media about, they talk about all the freedom you have to decorate it the way you want, dress the way you want, make your own schedule. You're just being your own boss. But the biggest one that I have the problem with is the part where it talks about you get to keep all your money. Because really, that's not the truth. It's not the truth. And a lot of times we as hairstylists, I see so many jump in right from school or very soon after becoming a hairstylist and finding out the truth about what it means to be your own boss and be independent. Very few people talk about the emotional stress that it takes, the pressure, just the loneliness of learning business while you're trying to survive. So in today's episode, this is what I want to talk about and share a bit about my personal journey of what it was like for me to step out on my own all by myself and how I got through it. So let's get into it. My story is probably just a bit different than maybe what yours looks like. But when I really thought about recording this episode, it really was on my heart to really share about the first time that I owned a salon all on my own. From maybe if you have just started listening to my podcast or start learning about my story, I actually, before I even went out on my own by myself, I owned a large salon with my partner and husband at the time. We owned a salon in the Bay Area that was quite successful for 17 years. And the first few years of it, it wasn't so easy. It wasn't successful right away. We learned how to build a successful business while working together and falling on our face and figuring it out and getting the help that we needed. What I want to share with you today is after that salon closed, my marriage ended, I found myself in a place of just being all on my own for the very first time. Toward the latter part of me owning the salon, I had some really awesome hairstylists working for me. They had grown up as a hairstylist. They'd gone through my apprentice program and had worked as a team together in my salon, and it made it very successful. But then toward the end, salon suites started really becoming the rage. And because things were unstable in my personal life and other things that happened, those stylists moved on to rent their own salon suites. And we ended up closing the salon and we ended up parting ways. And I ended up purchasing a really small two-chair salon that was just a little bit ways down the road from our salon that we had. So that's what I want to share with you about that experience. When I first did it, I was super excited, just like I'm sure all of you, if you are an independent suite salon owner, you probably can resonate with this. I was so excited just to renovate it and make it look the way I wanted my vibe to feel in the salon. So the first month was spent, putting it together and, sharing the information with my clients. And then the day came and I opened, and for the first couple of weeks, it was fine. It was fine because I had been working on my own as a salon owner for a while, so it wasn't foreign to me to be my own boss. But what was happening after about a month in, I started feeling a bit isolated. It started feeling a bit lonely to me. There were times where, I did a great color or a great haircut, and there was nobody to turn to say, hey, check out this haircut I did, or what do you think about this color? And then there was times where I had a client in the chair and I really was, trying to figure out what to do. And I missed that collaboration of being able to just seek another team member in the salon or somebody that, that was more experienced in whatever I was doing to ask for their advice or just to collaborate with so that I had somebody to bounce something off to. So that was the first thing that I want to share with you first, is that the truth about, being independent on your own, it can feel kind of isolating because you don't have somebody else there to just, partner with and talk things through. And that, for the most part, was probably the most challenging for me. But I don't think that is the main challenge for the majority of you that are jumping into becoming an independent stylist. I think the biggest challenge for you to come to terms with is learning how to run your chair as a business, looking at yourself as the CEO of your business. As a hairstylist, when you're working in a salon doing hair, you're focused on building your skills and, building your clientele. And we focus mainly on our skills. And we're taught that that's how we're going to be successful in the hair industry. But that changes. It just changes everything when you become an independent stylist, especially as a salon suite owner, but even as a rental owner, you have to become a business owner too. And I think that this is really not taught well in beauty school. And, Instagram, we see, or social media, it's so glamorized about going independent, but that part isn't shared with you. The parts of the struggles of not just the isolation, but of when you have the slow books, how do I get more clients in the chair? When you're in a salon environment with other stylists or in a salon that you're working as a team, the salon has a reputation already. So you're going to get clients coming in because of the reputation of the salon, and that really helps build you. So I want to challenge you and encourage you with some questions to ask yourself, some thoughts to ponder before you step into this role, or if you are in this role and you are experiencing a bit of low confidence and wondering if you jumped in too soon. The first one is, how are you checking your retention of your clients? Do you have a system in place to be able to see how many new clients are coming in and how to figure out the ones that haven't come in, and to be able to have a system in place to be able to try and bring them back in? And do you have a system in place and a thought process on how you're going to market yourself to get those clients in the chair? The second one is how consistent are you with your work? Maybe you're very talented with it, but are you consistent in your skills? Are you consistent in the client experience? Which brings me to the next point. What kind of client experience are you providing for your client? Is it an experience that is memorable? How can you stand out from other hairstylists and give your clients an experience when they walk into your salon suite or they sit in your chair that you own, that you're independent with? What are you doing that they go, wow, I want to go back to Sherry. I really loved that. Like they leave feeling so good about it that they want to leave you a review, that they want to refer you. So you want to think about that. You want to think about, how is my communication with my clients? You really want to up your game when it comes to the communication that you have. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about not just your consultations, which are key to creating that wonderful client experience. And if you do want to learn more about client consultations, be sure to check my podcast, because I've done a good 3 or 4 episodes on consultations that will really, really help you have the confidence to know that you're giving a awesome consultation that's going to give those clients confidence in you and make them feel like you get it and you are their hairstylist. But when I talk about communication, I want to talk to you about, how are you talking to your clients? Are you talking mainly about yourself and your personal life, or are you making it about them? These are just something that you really want to think about, is your client experience. This is key, guys, to being able to have those clients continually coming back, because that is the most important thing in being successful as an independent stylist, is to create that experience that's going to create longevity with your clientele, that they're going to write those reviews, that they're going to refer their friends. The consistency, when I talk about consistency in the way your suite or your chair looks. Is it clean? What is it like? What do they experience from the minute they walk in the door to the minute they leave? These are things you want to be thinking about. And I'm just going to encourage you that if you don't have knowledge, or you're just not sure of how to set yourself up as a business, I want to encourage you to get some mentoring. Find somebody that has owned a salon suite and been successful, or gets the education that you need to be able to learn how to run your salon suite or your chair as a business. When I spoke about me owning my very first hair salon, and I told you that I jumped into it without any business knowledge, that is the honest to goodness truth. And I can honestly say the only reason why that salon was so successful, we were open for 17 years, was because I humbled myself. I was able to just acknowledge to myself, Sherry, you don't have business skills. I was great at service skills. I could do great customer service, but I didn't know anything about how to run a salon as a business. And so I invested in that, and I got the education that I needed and my partner needed to be able to set us up for success as a salon owner, which you need to look at yourself in the mirror. You're no longer just a hairstylist. You are a business owner now. As an independent stylist, you are a business owner, and the success of your business all depends on you. And it's going to take patience, because it takes time. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take sacrifice of your time to get it up and going. And it's going to take, being humble enough to learn from somebody else, but it's also going to take investment. Do you have the income to support yourself for at least 3 to 6 months if your books are slow? That's another key point that you want to be thinking of before you even open the doors to your salon. I could keep going on and on about this, but the main point of this episode is to get you to really stop and think about, are you ready to open a salon suite? Or are you ready to go independent as a hairstylist? If you don't know anything about business, if you don't have systems in place, if you don't have a clientele right now and you don't have some income in the bank to sustain you for the first few months of owning your business, then I'm going to encourage you not to jump into it and to step back from it and be patient and wait until you're ready. The statistics show that many hairstylists leave the industry within the first few years. And, I don't believe at all that it's because they didn't love doing hair. I think they truly loved doing hair. I think that most of the time stylists leave this industry is because they weren't prepared for the business side of this, of being a hairstylist. And also the emotional toll it takes on you as a hairstylist to not be prepared. It is awful. It is so awful. Those first few years of owning the big salon, I cannot tell you the stress that we went through worrying about whether we're going to be able to pay the overhead on the salon and our overhead of our personal life. It was so stressful. And I'm really thankful that I had somebody there going through it with me. It helped me through it. But when I went and after all that, and I went to, owning my own salon by myself, the only part of it that bothered me the most was the isolation, was because I knew how to run my business as a business. And I had the skills, of course, behind the chair, but I also had the business knowledge. So, hey, I hope that this gives you, a pause to stop and really look at your situation and make a really more educated and confident decision on whether you want to jump in. And if you are feeling like you just really want to jump in and start your own business, I want to share with you that I am working right now on a free workshop. And this workshop is designed to give you everything you need to be able to confidently assess whether you're ready, and also to help you be able to put systems in place so that you can set yourself up for success as an independent stylist. If that's something that interests you, please visit my website at onpointhairbysherry, SHERRI.com, and get on my email list so that you are the first to know when it launches. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and I'll see you next week. Happy haircutting, everybody. I hope this episode encouraged you today and reminded you that you're not alone behind the chair. And if it helped you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with another hairstylist who may need encouragement too. And remember, success behind the chair is built one client, one conversation, and one day at a time. I'll see you guys in the next episode.